We have to go back. We have to go back to when Obama was in office. He got into office in '09, and all of a sudden, a group of people came up from out of nowhere that were, could they be on the Republican side? We're not sure. But they were a group of people who came up and they called themselves the Tea Party. And they were most definitely against President Obama, all of his policies, even to the point of not wanting health care that could help them in the long run. They were totally against it, and so much so that even the Gaston flag was brought out with the snake, yellow flag with the snake and the liberty and don't take my liberty and all that. And so as the protests began, the Democrats were woefully unprepared for what came, which was people protesting, people even getting to the point to where they might even have spat on different members of Congress, and they were not ready for that, right? So you fast forward to 2016 and Donald Trump being elected the 45th president of the United States. It seemed that the Democrats wanted to take a page from out of what the Republicans did, because it was Mitch McConnell and other Republican leaders, and they were in a room when Obama got elected, and their plan was to make Obama a one-term president. That was their plan. And so within that plan, they also, after the first 2 years, because President Obama, if people remember history, President Obama had the House and the Senate for the first 2 years. But the people didn't see any action, and the Tea Party had rose. There you go. The Tea Party rose, and they then began to take over the people's thoughts and minds. Fox News was galvanized by the Tea Party, and the Tea Party took over the minds. And it wasn't too much for them to take over the minds, because some people just didn't trust that there would be a black president. Now let's go over it again, and it's for people who don't understand. 213-943-3358. President Obama was not, unbeknownst to everyone, was not from the lineage of 1619. His father was a Kenyan. His mother was a Tanzanian from Kansas, a Caucasian, and he grew up in Hawaii, being raised by his grandparents primarily, from what we can tell, right? Because we see him at the beach with his grandfather, and he looks just like his grandfather. He's just the melanated version of his grandfather, right? So look, how do we say this to be clear, not to be duped again, right? So Obama didn't come from off of any place like Kinsman Avenue, or any place like Harvard Avenue, or any place like Crenshaw in Los Angeles, or he didn't come from Inglewood in LA or Chicago. He didn't come from Flatbush or the Bronx or Brooklyn. His lifestyle and his experiences did not lend him to be a person who would really necessarily understand or have a middle standing or even an overstanding of what it was to be American black. So as a carpetbagger, he came into Chicago and he tried to take Congressman Bobby Rush's seat, but that did not happen. And then later he was able to get into the Senate, spent a few years there. Then he ran for president with Caucasian backing. Black people fell for it. And here we are now still talking the same things that we were talking again on this hamster wheel. When will we get off the hamster wheel? Off the hamster wheel, are we seeing what we are seeing? Are we blind to what we are seeing? Civil war. Are we blind to what we are seeing? Right? So that is the question for today, right? And so look, what's up to Tracy Latrice starting those watch parties? That's right, people. So look, they go through all this, and they do this for a man. They start the Tea Party, and the Republicans gas them flag and don't trample on my Constitution, don't trample on my rights. And they did all this for a person who may have had the melanin look, but did not have the mentality of a person who came from 1619. And he even says it in an interview himself that he didn't think that someone who came from slavery would actually be able to be president, because I guess he was saying it's so much baggage involved in being a person from that lineage, right? And that's the main purpose of those in America who do not want to see American blacks ascend, descendants of 1619, descendants of slavery. American blacks ascend to the presidency of the United States. So it's always that game. So they started this Tea Party. So I had to give you some context, right? Some backstory so we can move forward. So they started this Tea Party and all this, and it was to make President Obama a one-term president. They did not succeed, but once they took over the Senate and the House, they went for those next 6 years to cut every possible chance that Obama would have to do anything. So then he started signing executive orders. But did he sign a reparations executive order? No. He signed for the LGBTQ. He signed for the Dreamers, those who were basically what they would call a derogatory term, but we're going to use it here, anchor babies.